This is how a blue whale looks when coming to the surface to breathe. Meet Asha Zulu Mandela, the woman with the longest dreadlocks in the world. They measure almost 6 meters long and weigh the same as a small child. She has not cut them for over 25 years. Did you know about the dugong? This marine animal is very similar to the manatee. They can grow up to 3 meters long and live in coastal areas of the Indian and Pacific Oceans. This is the Maria Concert Hall. It is the largest mirrored building in the world and is located in the desert of Saudi Arabia. This is Heathorn, a small village in the Netherlands where there are no roads or cars. The only modes of transportation are by foot, bicycle, or small boats that navigate its canals. Residents use wheelbarrows to transport groceries from the supermarket to their homes. Would you believe me if I told you that the stone in this ring was made from human nails? It was created by Japanese artist Kiwami Japan, who collected his nail clippings for a year to make this unusual piece. Would you wear one of these rings? This is how the traditional annual teddy bear rain looks at the Betis football team stadium. Nearly 19,000 teddy bears were collected so that no homeless child would be left without a gift during the holiday season. In Japan, there are pizza vending machines. In less than 5 minutes, you can get a freshly baked pizza with a box, carrying bag, and a cutter. These are bone discs, improvised music recordings made on X-rays. People used these to smuggle forbidden foreign music into the Soviet Union in the 1950s. The sound quality was not very good, and they could only be played about 10 times before they stopped working. Japanese company KAI has created the world's first sustainable disposable razor. It is made almost entirely out of cardboard, making its environmental impact much lower than plastic razors. Did you know that the name Valentina hot sauce was inspired by a character from the Mexican Revolution? At the age of 17, Valentina Ramirez Avitia joined Madero's troops dressed as a man, identifying herself as Juan Ramirez. This termite got trapped in amber about 22 million years ago. The most curious thing is that its last meal is still in its stomach. Watch how it moves inside. Some television sets use a pedal to control the speed of the text on the teleprompter. Tonsil stones are small deposits that accumulate bacteria in the tonsils. These are generally caused by food debris and dead cells. If you constantly have bad breath, you may have them. This is a Vogelkopf bird of paradise. These birds have a unique appearance, with males having a thick, fleshy structure covered in feathers hanging from their throats, which they inflate when courting females. Depending on the season, the honey produced by bees can be of different colors. This includes spring, summer, and winter honey. Kangal dogs have the strongest bite of all canines, at 73 pounds per square inch. It is even stronger than that of a lion, which is 650 pounds per square inch. Have you ever been on a curved escalator? I honestly didn't know those existed. It was built from a Volkswagen Passat and can reach speeds of up to 144 kilometers per hour. It is authorized to drive on public roads. We do not know why or for what purpose, but it exists. This is Descent, an art installation created by Anish Kapoor. It features a circular pool with an endless spiral of black water, resembling something from a sci-fi movie. Someone captured the exact moment when a hermit crab changed its shell. This screen in a mall plays with our minds, creating an optical illusion. By crossing the image barrier, the brain perceives it in 3 dimensions as it establishes the blue rectangle as the edge or limit. Have you ever tried cheese tea? Did you even know it existed? This drink can be made with any type of tea, green or black, and comes with a layer of cream cheese on top. It may sound a bit disgusting, but it is very popular in Singapore and China. If you don't have anyone to help you apply sunscreen, look for one of these machines. They apply sunscreen all over the body in just 10 seconds. Just choose the protection factor and your height. Photographer Henry Hargreaves recreates the last meals of death row inmates. These are some of the most famous ones. We'll leave the link in case you want to take a closer look. The sword-billed hummingbird has the longest bill of any bird, longer than its body. This is a kit for vampire hunting from the 19th century. It includes stakes, a mallet, a cross, a rosary, a firearm, a Bible, a mold for making silver bullets, and bottles with spices like garlic, holy water, and holy soil. Watch the movements dogs make with their tongue when they lick you. Did you know that this was McDonald's first mascot long before Ronald McDonald? His name was Speedy. This little animal may seem insignificant, but do not underestimate it. The Paratarsotomus macropalpus mite is the fastest animal in the world in relation to its body size. It moves at speeds of up to 322 body lengths per second. These dogs aren't pushing their owner. They are alerting her that her blood sugar levels are too low. Can you imagine having a robot chef in your home? This is Molly, a robotic kitchen that mounts on the ceiling. It is programmed with over 5,000 recipes. Just buy the ingredients and choose what you want to cook on the screen. If this happens frequently to you, we have good news. Design student Min Wook Pyeng has created this third eye that will prevent you from looking away from your phone while walking. If the eye sensors detect something in your path, like a bus, a sign, or a person, it will make your phone vibrate. Did you know that in countries like India and Pakistan, people add spice to milk? Even for Mexicans, that's extreme. This is dodging, a Norwegian sport where participants must remain horizontal for as long as possible before entering the pool. They have just milliseconds to react and avoid hitting the water with their stomach. This is how the spark that ignites the flame of lighters look. This is the new installation by the TeamLab Art Collective. The group consists of artists, programmers, engineers, animators, mathematicians, and architects who create technological and interactive artworks. This installation is located in a shopping mall in China. A witness to a crime drew this portrait of the perpetrator. Believe it or not, thanks to this drawing, they were able to catch the culprit. This is how they finish distressed jeans. This is a Dutch tup, the predecessor of pinball, a game played by kings and elites in the 17th century. The winner is the one who rings the bell. It looks like a combination of Beyblade and pinball. This Google Chrome extension allows you to customize your cursor. Just visit the Chrome Web Store and add it. You can choose from hundreds of options available or create your own from any image. Our favorite is this axolotl. This is how they make hamster food. The raindrop cake is a dessert that resembles a water droplet. It is made from water and agar, a kind of jelly made from seaweed. This is how nails are oriented before being packaged. Since the head has more metal, it sticks to the magnet. This way, they are packed in the same direction. Fog tsunamis are one of nature's most terrifying pranks. The good news is that they are relatively harmless. The only real danger is the lack of visibility. Kulning is an ancient high-pitched call intended to be heard at a long distance and attract the attention of cattle. It is truly beautiful. In this video, we can see how much iron is in cereal. This iron is the same found in nails or cars and is essential for the growth and development of the body. See how it sticks to the magnet. As absurd as it may seem, some McDonald's in China have these stationary bicycles instead of seats at the tables. According to Harvard University, riding a bicycle at a speed of 19 kilometers per hour causes an average person to burn about 300 calories in 30 minutes. Each McNugget contains about 42 calories, so it would take you about 5 minutes to burn each one. A hamburger, fries, and... This is a Percebe biota. They live along rocky coastlines and feed through filtration. They attach themselves to rocks or the bottom of boats and spend the rest of their lives in this position. YouTuber Matthew Beam built the largest statue in Minecraft to date. It is of the skin of YouTuber Technoblade, who was recently diagnosed with cancer. The video aims to encourage people to donate to research on this disease. Did you know that you can stay in the house from home alone on the Airbnb website? As you can see, the property has the original furniture and decorations from the movie. Poimo is an inflatable electric scooter that can be folded and stored in a backpack. It is still a prototype, but we may see them on the streets in the future. Bolt is the first roller coaster integrated on a cruise ship. These are the incredible views you will see on board. Tear Stick is a wax cylinder, similar to a lipstick, with menthol and camphor extracts, which help actors cry during sad scenes in movies. It is only applied under the eye. The heat of the skin releases the menthol and camphor vapors, which induce the formation of real tears. Shintaro Okamoto encapsulates moments, experiences, and objects inside blocks of ice. These are some of his creations. He uses all kinds of artifacts to keep them in the right place before the water freezes. Look at the size that Aldabra tortoises can reach. A group of Korean architects wants to build buildings in the hollow trunks of the world's tallest trees, the sequoias. The idea is that when a tree dies, its interior is conditioned as a building where environmental preservation research can be carried out. A group of Star Wars fans managed to get the city council of the Polish town of Grabowice to name a street in their city after Star Wars. This is not a German Shepherd puppy. In fact, he is over 2 years old. Ranger suffers from pituitary dwarfism, a congenital deficiency of the growth hormone. Although dwarfism may not be dangerous if left untreated, it can drastically reduce life expectancy. Can you imagine climbing 646 meters to change a light bulb? This is one of the jobs of radio and telecommunications tower climbers. It is changed every 6 months. Introducing the Torrid Pulse, a device that shoots compressed air rings underwater. It connects to the low-pressure port of the scuba tank and launches up to 35 bubble rings. Looks fun, right? I bet you didn't know that airplane cabins are so flexible. These are the rigorous tests they undergo before their first flight. This is an interactive machine that teaches you how to perform CPR in various airports in the United States. In just 5 minutes, you can learn to save a life. Did you know what the numbers on fruit labels mean? If it has only 4 digits, it means it has been conventionally grown using pesticides. If the fruit or vegetable has a 5-digit code starting with the number 8, it means it is genetically modified. If it has a 5-digit code starting with the number 9, it means it has been grown without pesticides or fertilizers, meaning it is organic. 3D advertisements are becoming more common. This one was made by the company Blonde Action and is located in New York. Have you ever wondered why some sweaters or hoodies have this triangle on the neck? Originally, its function was to collect sweat around the chest after exercise. This prevents sweat from deforming or stretching the neck. This strange Japanese trend involves cutting your pet's hair to make it look like a cube. They resemble Minecraft dogs. Speaking of dogs, these are the 25 most used canine breeds in the history of cinema. So far, 562 German Shepherds have appeared in movies, 284 bulldogs, and 209 poodles. If you want to see the complete list, pause the video. Did you ever imagine that Kentucky Fried Chicken's Colonel Sanders would be the protagonist of a romantic novel? The Tender Desires is a story that narrates the erotic romance between the Colonel and a woman from the Victorian era. Once again, robots are taking our jobs. Stanley Robotics has created the world's first robot valet parking system. Watch it in action. In this adorable ad by the Polly brand, we can see Lucas making the world's smallest cup of coffee from a single coffee bean. In this video by the YouTube channel Spots, we can see what the sky would look like if we replaced the sun with other stars. This is how it would look with Electro, with Capella, and with Arcturus. It seems chasing lasers is not just for cats. Did you know that in Japan, there are restaurants that heat soup with stones? This technique is called yaki-ishi. It is very efficient, heating the broth almost immediately. This is how visually impaired sprinters participate in the Paralympic Games. They are accompanied by a guide who ensures the athlete stays in the correct lane. This was the Game Boy printer, a small printer that connected to the Game Boy along with the Game Boy camera. You could print your photos instantly. They weren't very good quality. Did you know that elephants sweat through their feet? This is how they look on a hot day. Watch this incredible jump. It was performed by French motocross pilot Tom Pages. It was recorded as the first base jump with a backflip on a motorcycle. The pilot was propelled at over 80 kilometers per hour at over 55 meters height. Look at the incredible amount of water flowing from this tree. The inside of the tree rotted and the water rose through the hollow trunk. Drivers in Siberia must know how to drift. Watch how they drive on the frozen streets of the city without any problem. In this video, we can see the incredible speed of reindeer. See how they keep pace with this train at over 50 kilometers per hour. Did you know that if you throw Vans sneakers in the air, they will always land upright? Try it and you'll see it's true. This happens because their soles are much heavier compared to the top. See how Zenit St. Petersburg players entered the field carrying dogs. This was done to promote adoption. This is the Red Pool in Thailand. The water in it is not actually red. The trick is in the tiles. If you look closely, you'll see red, yellow, and orange tiles. The combination of these colors creates an optical illusion that makes the water look red. What is this? Some kind of liquid? Plastic trash? The ghost of an eel? This undulating creature is a larval stage of a ribbon eel called a leptocephalus. This is the wing of an airplane, and this is why drones are prohibited in airports. The Zioneus excavate is the most elegant mosquito in the world. Its metallic blue color contrasts with the silver spots on its abdomen. Its legs have elongated scales that look like feathers. If James Bond had a pen, it would be this one. The Pyro pen launches small pieces of paper lit in the air. Its creators claim it is not dangerous as the flame extinguishes almost immediately. The days when motorcyclists had to put their feet down at a traffic light may have come to an end. This new system called Honda Riding Assist allows the motorcycle to stand autonomously and move without the need for a driver. Remember the iconic scene from Spider-Man 2 where Peter tries to jump from one building to another but ends up falling from a great height? This is how it was filmed. The scene was shot by a stunt double carefully held by a crane. These are the 6 women that Mattel used as inspiration for their Role Models doll line, or role models. They stood out for their work in the healthcare field during this pandemic. One of them is Sarah Gilbert, the professor who led the creation of the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine. A group of Korean architects wants to build buildings in the hollow trunks of the world's tallest trees, the sequoias. The idea is that when a tree dies, its interior is conditioned as a building where environmental preservation research can be carried out. A group of Star Wars fans managed to get the city council of the Polish town of Grabowicz to name a street in their city after Star Wars. This is not a German Shepherd puppy. In fact, he is over 2 years old. Ranger suffers from pituitary dwarfism, a congenital deficiency of the growth hormone. Although dwarfism may not be dangerous, if left untreated, it can drastically reduce life expectancy. Can you imagine arm wrestling with a bear? Doesn't sound like a good idea, right? Well, Anton Kostenko and his friends did it. Watch how the bear wins once, but is defeated in others. The truth is, if the bear wanted to, he would beat them all together, wouldn't he? Only Russians come up with these things. In the style of the movie Wanted, James Dean is able to curve his arrows. He explains that to achieve this, the arrow must be placed higher than normal and the bow held at a 45-degree angle. This causes the arrow to curve in the first few meters and then straighten. Sproje Hofstrasse is the narrowest street in the world. At its widest point, it measures 50 centimeters, and at its narrowest, only 32 centimeters. You have to pass by sideways to avoid hitting the walls. It is located in Germany and has become a destination. Every time they shoot a film from the Conjuring universe, a priest is brought in to bless the sets, editing, and actors. Better safe than sorry. This is how 500 people snapping their fingers at the same time sounds. Did you know that polarized lenses help distinguish fish in the water? These eliminate excess light on surfaces. You may remember that creepy scene from The Ring 2 when Samara climbs up a stone wall like a spider. This was not a computer-generated effect. Contortionist actress Bonnie Morgan is able to walk in this way. The Ecuadorian nymph is one of the most curious insects on the planet, apparently resembling a kernel of corn. Its peculiar shape is due to the wax it produces from glands around its body. This repels water and helps protect it from the weather. Did you know that pillow fights are a sport? They even have their own league, the PFC. The rules are simple. They face off in one-on-one combat where only one pillow is allowed to hit the opponent. As for defense, everything is allowed. Did you know that in some countries the color of the accessories you put on your dog has a meaning? If a dog has a red collar, it means they tend to be irritable and aggressive if provoked. Yellow, nervous. Green, very approachable and sociable. Orange, dogs with a fiery temperament. This is the most expensive jacket in the world. It is designed with 460 carats of perfect diamonds and black python skin. It can be yours for $10 million. This is what a volcanic eruption looks like from space. This 12-hour time-lapse was captured by a satellite. Sea urchins have 5 teeth arranged in a circle on the underside of their bodies. They use them to cling and scrape algae off rocky surfaces. Koalas make a peculiar sound when they try to mate, or in case they feel threatened. During the mating season, male great potus grow elongated feather on each wing of about 38 centimeters. It is almost twice the size of the bird. When they fly, these feathers go back, but when courting the female, they raise them like banners to get her attention. For the release of the Batman movie, Little Scissors released a pizza shaped like the superhero's logo, according to them. To us, it looks more like... This is the largest foosball table in the world. It measures 137 meters long. The Pallas's cat is one of the oldest wild cat species that exist. It is distinguished by its round fur. Watch how it steps on its tail so its paws don't get cold in the snow. In Spider-Man: No Way Home, the articulated arms of the villain Doc Ock were entirely made by computer. In Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2, they were made with puppets operated by 4 people. Each controlled a different arm. They rehearsed a lot to synchronize the movements with Alfred Molina. Which do you think looks better? Harry Melling, the actor who played Dudley in Harry Potter, lost so much weight so quickly that for his last appearance in The Deathly Hallows, he almost had to be played by a different actor. They used a fat suit and makeup. Check out how clever killer whales are. With their fins, they create a wave to knock the seal off a piece of ice. The blue mud dauber wasp, or sometimes called the drumming wasp, has a curious defense mechanism. When they feel threatened, they produce a rhythmic sound by opening and closing their wings. They sound like an army's drums. Some aquariums and zoos organize bubble parties for penguins. They seem to enjoy it a lot. A few years ago, the Kilauea volcano in Hawaii gave us a smile with the lava from its crater. It looks like a Pixar character. Did you know that Mario Day is celebrated on March 10th? The first 3 letters of his name, Mar, are taken as the diminutive of March, and the last 2 letters, Io, are replaced by the number 10. People suffering from tongue cancer often lose part of the organ. One solution is to graft tissue from the patient's leg or abdomen. This is Cameron, who defeated cancer and now has a 2-colored tongue. This is the Loridia phoenixus, named for its resemblance to Joaquin Phoenix's Joker makeup. You can clearly see the smile of the popular villain on his body. How tall can a tower of a single 2x2 Lego brick be before the bottom piece breaks? A mathematician calculated that it takes 375,000 pieces stacked on top of each other to break the bottom piece. Such a tower would measure more than 3.5 kilometers. Who comes up with these things? Some luxury cars have cleaners for the cameras of their vehicles. If you are thinking of getting butt implants, tell your surgeon not to go overboard, or airport security will stop you every time you try to fly. The caterpillar of the lappet moth has this curious pattern on its head. Some say it looks like a happy face, others that it looks like a skull. Rini Ivan has spent more than $100,000 on tattoos. Almost his whole body is inked, even his armpits. Did you know that there are pink sand beaches? The color is due to the presence of a microscopic marine organism called foraminifera that, when disintegrated by water action, accumulates in the sand. To give actors and animators a reference of the size of the dog in the Clifford movie, the production designed this giant 3-meter-tall puppet of the dog. The first thing some species of snails do when they are born is eat the shell of their own egg. They obtain a lot of calcium they will need for the creation of their shells from here. In the Netherlands, there is a museum of the human body whose facade is literally a person. Inside, there are exhibits of different parts and organs of the human body. While other countries put important things or people on their coins, India prefers to put fingers and hands. A thumb for 1 rupee, this gesture for the 2 rupee coin, and a closed fist for the 50 rupee coin. Do you know why airplanes have a hole in the back? If you don't know what I'm talking about, let me show you quickly. This is the APU exhaust, the auxiliary power unit. First triple backflip on a BMX bike. It was achieved by Kieran Riley. This is what a cold air funnel looks like from the cockpit of an airplane. If a funnel cloud touches the ground, it becomes a tornado. This is how clothes hangers are made. This machine is responsible for cutting and bending the metal in different parts. In school, we are taught that the speed at which light travels is 299,792,458 meters per second. It sounds like a lot, doesn't it? The problem is that no one bothered to give us an example. Imagine you want to travel around the world. If you did it at the speed of light, it would only take you 0.13 seconds. In just 1 second, you would complete 7.5 laps around the planet. It is so fast that it only takes 1.25 seconds to reach the moon, 2.5 seconds if we take into account the return trip. To Mars, which is 54.6 million kilometers away, it takes just 3 minutes and 2 seconds. Now, this is not just a meaningless number. Polar bears are white. They are not. In fact, their skin is black and their hair is transparent. Each hair scatters and reflects visible light, making them appear white. Surely, like me, you are wondering what animal leaves these footprints in the snow. The answer is somewhat funny and amusing. Watch the otter in action. These are the works of Mexican artist Gabriel Dague. They are composed of thousands of multicolored threads that give the impression of being rays of light. It looks like a rainbow. The flowers of the Anguloa uniflora orchid are shaped like a cradle with a very happy baby inside. Have you ever had a pencil so small that it is impossible to use? Let us introduce you to the Tsunago sharpener. This one has a couple of extra holes. YouTuber Luis Wise has created the longest and most resistant candy rope in the world. It is so strong that it can tow a car. Do you remember that in the past, the lid of McDonald's McFlurry ice creams had this shape? That changed in 2006, when the Hedgehog Protective Association won a campaign for the chain to redesign their cups, as hedgehogs were getting stuck and dying. This is how they promoted the Netflix series We Are Dead in Thailand. They equipped this bus with screens instead of windows. This was the most socially distanced office in New York. This floating platform has everything you need to work. It even has internet connection. It was created during the lockdown by Improv Everywhere. The bald eagle builds the largest nests in the world. The largest one recorded was about 3 meters wide and 6 meters high. It weighed over 2 tons. This is how professional javelin throwers train. This peculiar rolling weight mimics the motion they make when throwing the javelin. This is the largest wine barrel in the world. It is located in Heidelberg Castle in Germany. It is 271 years old and can hold 219,000 liters. It measures 7 meters wide by 8.5 meters long. The tiger moth caterpillar looks like a gummy candy. In the 2012 film Wreck-It Ralph, the high score we see at the top of the video game is a reference to Walt Disney's birth date, December 5, 1901. This is a Kabaraya arrow. In the past, one of these arrows was fired before a battle. It was believed that the whistle frightened evil spirits and alerted friendly gods to lend their support. Fleischmann's frogs often flatten their bodies on leaves to hide. It looks as if the leaf has a pair of eyes. They are called crystal or glass frogs because their bones and organs are visible through their thin skin. If you love music and barbecue, this invention is perfect for you. Handy Gang created this unique piano grill tricycle. It's not a joke. It has a motor to move the chassis, and each piano key is connected to a skewer. Industrial shredders are really tough. They can devour practically anything. In Finland, speeding fines are calculated based on your income, causing some millionaires to pay fines of up to $100,000. The more you earn, the higher the fine. The HZ-1 Aerocycle was a personal helicopter developed in the mid-50s. The project was abandoned after 2 accidents. Who came up with that idea? Some spiders build hinged doors made of silk in their burrows. This is Crushmetric, an aluminum pen that changes shape when a switch is activated. The technique is called tessellated origami. Did you notice that Bruno from Encanto has a plant very similar to Wally's? It's even inside the same boot. He is Eli Bishop, the current Guinness World Record holder for the most claps in 1 minute. This stray kitten got into a lynx enclosure at the Leningrad Zoo looking for food. The curious thing is that both were babies. The lynx accepted the kitten, and now they are best friends. They have been together for over 10 years. Razorfish have a peculiar way of swimming vertically with their heads down. This is to blend in and camouflage themselves in vegetation. They look like floating leaves. This canned cake came out of a vending machine in Japan. Looks delicious. Look at how this dog looks behind a textured glass. It looks like something out of Minecraft. Students at the International Art University created Makatur, a collection of clothing made entirely from restaurant food packaging, from hamburger box bras, French fry miniskirts, to a wedding dress made entirely of wrappers. This is the world's largest treehouse. It's located in Tennessee and is 97 meters tall. It took 250,000 nails to build. Tickets for the Titanic were extremely expensive. First-class cabins cost £30 at the time, which today would be around $4,000. Second-class tickets were £12, equivalent to $1,500 today. Third-class tickets ranged from £3 to £8, $400 to $1,000 nowadays. Does a blue tarantula exist? It's called Poecilotheria metallica. Its striking color comes from the reflection of light on nanocrystals within its hairs. It must be one of the strangest watches you will ever see. The lash clock's frame is covered in eyelashes. The minutes and hours can be read thanks to the gap created between the fibers. This juggling robot performs some pretty impressive tricks. Unlike their smaller relatives, tigers enjoy spending time in the water. They love to swim. Mothers encourage cubs to swim from a very early age. In Encanto, Antonio is named after San Antonio Abad. He is the patron saint of animals. This was the show during the opening of the Donbass Stadium in Ukraine. The coordinated movement of hundreds of people created this incredible effect. Here we can see some angles from the field of how the people were moving. Smile Cloud's company prints shapes and messages on soap bubbles. They are so light that they float in the air. This is what a $1 cookie looks like up close. They are flat sea urchins that live on the ocean floor. The microscopic spines collect minerals from the sand, grain by grain, and bring them to their mouth. This is how space lollipops are made. They place dark and transparent caramel in molds. When they cool down, they place an image of a planet or star printed on edible paper on one side, seal it, and use a small torch to melt the caramel so the image can be seen inside. The Motorola Dynatac 8000 is considered the first mobile phone in history. This brick weighed almost a kilo, and its battery took 10 hours to charge, but when in use, it only lasted 30 minutes. At 3:45 a.m. on September 20, 2020, 3,051 unmanned drones broke the record for the largest aerial drone show, at least up to that. Did you know that in each sunflower head there can be from 500 to 2,000 seeds? That's how they are harvested. Did you know that ducks can hold their breath for up to 25 seconds? This is to search for food at the bottom of lakes. Egg-eating snakes have no teeth and their jaws and necks are extremely flexible. Watch as this one devours an egg triple the size of its head. Vincent Vaughn is a shadow artist. He creates art using the shadow cast by objects. Here you can see some of his works, including the lanes of an Olympic swimming pool and a bowling player celebrating a shot. Li Long Long holds the Guinness World Record for climbing the most stairs using only his head. 36 stairs. Truly useless, but very impressive. This is how astronauts who traveled to the moon returned home. In this video, you can see them taking off from the lunar surface. This other angle gives a better view. This camera was remotely controlled and not operated by a person. When they had ascended enough, they met the Columbia module in lunar orbit to propel them back to Earth. This is the message farmers create on their land to commemorate the Tour de France. This rare animal is a proteo, a type of salamander that lives in a group of underground caves in Bosnia and Herzegovina. It looks like a small dragon. Canadian bills are virtually indestructible. When the temperature drops, hummingbirds enter a state called torpor, a mini hibernation where their body temperature decreases. Often, they do this head first. Anta oxalis corniculata has a strange method of dispersing its seeds. When it comes into contact with something, it shoots its seeds into the air. This is what Tickle Me Elmo looks like without fabric and plush. Good luck sleeping tonight. The bones of a baby are distributed differently. They are not separated as if they were in jelly, but rather gradually change from cartilage to bone. This is the Amazon milk frog. Do they look like tiny robots? This video shows how ocean currents interact. Warm water is less dense, so it rises above cold water. How old were you when you found out that rabbits can swim? A firefighter wears a greenhouse helmet with plants inside instead of a mask. Would you wear it? The body of this fish, named Hoplolatelis clapati, is covered in photophores, cells that reflect light at different wavelengths. Did you know that during the filming of the Harry Potter movies, Daniel Radcliffe broke over 80 wands? Here's the answer. He used them as drumsticks to play the drums. The largest tsunami ever recorded occurred on July 9, 1958, in Lituya Bay, Alaska. A magnitude 8.3 earthquake caused almost an entire mountain to collapse, generating a wall of water that rose to 524 meters in height. See it compared to the Titanic and the world's tallest building. Why do cats do this before jumping? It is believed that the movement of their hindquarters helps them apply pressure to their hind legs against the ground, giving them greater traction and friction when leaping. Do you think airplanes will be like this in the future? In case of an accident or failure, the cabin will be able to detach and eject in mid-flight. With the help of 2 huge parachutes, it would return to the surface. It doesn't sound too bad, but we'll have to see if it's feasible. This strange animal you see on screen is an amphipod, a crustacean related to shrimp. It is transparent to blend in with the darkness of the deep sea. The orangish parts are its eyes. Imagine being inside a painting. This 3D video, made by Motion Magic, is designed to make you experience Van Gogh's famous Starry Night in 360 degrees. For roller coaster lovers, this restaurant is for you. There are no waiters. You order through a tablet, and once your order is ready, it goes on a roller coaster journey to your table. This is a prototype of a water vehicle called the Aquatic Stratosphere. The idea is to travel on the sea surface. Sounds interesting. Did you know that millions of years ago there was a sea scorpion over 2 meters long? It was 1,000 times heavier than their scorpion cousins. This device called AccuVein is a great help for nurses. Hemoglobin in the blood absorbs light, creating a pattern that can be seen on the surface of the skin. This man wanted to literally feel inside video games, so he designed a system of pistons and compressed air to make it as real as possible. Here you can see the pistons in action when the car crashes and how the legs of his table move, similar to a horse's. The record for the highest skydive without a parachute is held by American Luke Aikens. The jump was from an airplane at 7,600 meters in height. He fell onto a 30 by 30 meter net anchored to 4 cranes. In the TV show Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, the character Greg eats a live cockroach. Well, at least that's what they made us think. It was actually a date with chili threads for antennae and dried algae for legs. It looks pretty real from afar. In 2017, a group of scientists started a worldwide search to find a mate for Jeremy, a rare snail whose spiral twisted to the left. This is very rare, as 99% or more spiral to the right. Because his shell coiled in the opposite direction, he could not reproduce. After a long search, they found 2 other left-handed snails. When put in Jeremy's enclosure, they mated with each other instead of with Jeremy. Did you know that some bird species' offspring defecate fecal sacs? They are made of tough, white mucus that encloses waste. Adult birds carry the sacs out of the nest to keep it clean and prevent infections. Sometimes they eat them. These Reef brand flip-flops have a bottle opener on the sole. Imagine the possibilities. What you see on screen is an animal eye. Can you guess which one? It's the eye of a gray whale, filmed by Mike Nolte. Check out this kitten's rhythm. It is the first time this baby tries pizza. Did you know that you can customize the sound of a Tesla's engine and horn? The possibilities are endless. Kendall printed, built, and painted a miniature replica of SpongeBob SquarePants' house. It has all the details, furniture, decorations, and even LED lighting. It's truly a work of art. The Black Crack is a natural fissure in the rock about 20 meters deep and almost a meter wide, located in southeast Utah. Did you know you can buy a room on a cruise and live in it? Pay an annual fee and use all the amenities. Nigel John Stanford, a New Zealand musician, didn't know what to do for the music video of his new song called Automatic. He programmed a pair of industrial robots to play the instruments. This is the epic result. This is how Magnum popsicles are made. This machine cuts the ice cream and deposits it onto a frozen conveyor belt. Another machine hits the belt to prevent sticking. Finally, they are transported to another machine that dips them in chocolate. This is the world's smallest console. It's called Thumb and measures just 3x 1.8 centimeters. It has a screen of 72x 40 pixels, 2 MB of storage memory, and a speaker. It comes with 5 preloaded games. Uncombable hair syndrome is a rare scalp anomaly. The condition is characterized by dry, curly hair that grows in different directions, making it virtually impossible to comb. Artist Idrale Jiao creates realistic versions of animated characters. Here you can see Lilo from Lilo and Stitch, Dash from The Incredibles, Joe Gardner from Soul, Bruno and Maribel Madrigal. Check out her Instagram to see more of her creations. Manatee lips are prehensile. Each side moves independently of the other. It's as if they have fingers. Watch how it grabs this rope. This is how instant ramen is made. First, a machine mixes flour, salt, and water to create a dough. Another machine cuts the dough into thin noodles that travel to a container. Here they are steamed and dehydrated. Finally, they are transferred along with the seasonings to their disposable packaging. Kaido Geba shows us what happens when a guide dog for people with visual disabilities needs to go to the bathroom. First, the dogs look for an area with soil or grass. Once they find it, they circle around their owner. When the owner realizes, they give a command signaling the dog to urinate or defecate. In this case, the word busy. When the owner feels the dog has stopped moving, he touches his back to determine if he is urinating or defecating. If the animal's back is straight, it means it has peed. If it's curved, it's number 2, so you have to pick it up. These are Festo's flying penguins, a group of autonomous robots filled with helium that float in a designated area. They should be placed in all shopping centers. This is the fried egg jellyfish. Do you have any doubt why it's called that? It feeds on sunlight like a plant. This fish is known as the potato pufferfish because of its resemblance to a potato. They spend most of their lives buried in the sand. It's very common for cockatoos to dance to the beat of music. These animals love to imitate things and have very good hearing. They move their head and feet, imitating the rhythm. She is Jessica Jacinto, a Venezuelan model with Down syndrome. She aims to eliminate stereotypes in the industry and seek greater inclusion for all people who dream of being part of the fashion world. Check out her Instagram to follow her. Can you imagine making a bubble the size of your body? Mr. Hacker teaches us how to do it in our homes. All you need is a flexible plastic tube, like the one for vacuums, and soapy water. Cut the tube in half and stick both ends together to form a circle. Cut a cable shape from a circle. The result is amazing and fun. Did you know that seals and sea lions have nails? These, along with their flippers, help them groom themselves. They are undoubtedly aquatic dogs. This is how the leaves of many plants grow. They develop little by little. Did you know that some computer processors generate so much heat you can cook on them? It's not easy, as you have to leave the food for several hours. Don't try it. It's very dangerous. This is how they teach orangutans raised in captivity to fear snakes. This curious device called Pedisedate was used to sedate children without causing stress before surgery. It consists of headphones connected to a portable video game console. This conduit released nitrous oxide, an anesthetic gas, to help children fall asleep peacefully. Very strange but functional. This is an inventor of useless machines. This is his latest invention, a machine that feeds him a 5-course meal. Sports motorcyclists' suits have airbags inside. In the event of an impact, they deploy in 15 milliseconds, protecting the upper arms, elbows, and neck of the rider, ensuring instant protection upon falling. This is the mouth size of the megalodon, the biggest shark that ever existed. This is how elephants chew and swallow their food. Many insects, such as some species of beetles, are covered in a bitter substance to deter predators from eating them. This frog learned it the hard way. This is Diamond Beach in Iceland. Pieces of ice break off a glacier and end up on the black sand beach. This is what 1 million dead mosquitoes look like. They were caught by a mosquito magnet, a trap with an attractant chemical that sucks insects in. This is one of the routines seen in the World Yo-Yo Championship final. Their skill is incredible. Giant tarantulas have tiny frogs as pets. The spiders protect the frogs from predators, and in return, the frogs eat insects that eat their eggs. 3 million children are taken to the hospital each year for swallowing Lego pieces. Because of this, the term legotomia was invented in hospitals. In ancient Rome, if you were able to distinguish these 2 stars of the Big Dipper constellation with the naked eye, you were chosen as an archer in the Roman army, one of the first visual tests in history. This is how artificial lakes are filled with fish. They travel in a container and are emptied through a hose. Helium makes your voice sound higher, but did you know there are other gases that make your voice sound deeper? One of them is sulfur hexafluoride. There is one that makes the voice even deeper, that is perfluoromethane. Did you know there's an internet trend or challenge that involves aligning a part of your body with a book cover? Here you can see some of the best so far. The Danish underwater band Between Music has created instruments and microphones that can sound while submerged in water. The result is truly magical, like nothing you've heard before. If you spend a lot of time on the computer or playing video games on it, you'll love this keyboard. It can be separated into 2. If you wish, you can choose to use only one half while playing. This is how Mars, Venus, and Earth look today, and this is how it was 4 billion years ago. It seems this is real and not just in cartoons. Dewey Bracer is a racing track where you pedal a monorail suspended 2 meters high along a 200-meter track. It is located in New Zealand. It looks like a lot of fun. This is how special effects were made for the 1958 film A Diabolic Invention. This is the sound made by longhorn grasshoppers when they feel threatened. Crickets and grasshoppers produce a peculiar sound by rubbing their wings when they feel threatened. This is what happens when you combine a desktop magnetism toy, 910, with a bubble wand and some smoke. He is Kaleem, a teenager with a strange and unknown disease that has caused his hands to grow enormously. Each one weighs more than 3 kilograms. Despite this, Kaleem has managed to live a relatively normal life. He brushes his teeth, combs his hair, eats, and scrolls through his Instagram account with the help of his thumbs. This is how elephants bring down fruit from trees. Their size and bulkiness are quite practical. This is the Fender Blender, a stationary bike that allows you to make smoothies using the energy produced by your legs. Swans sure know how to land with style. If you have two Apple devices, such as an iPhone and an iPad, you can use this trick to copy and paste images between devices. Tigers are primarily carnivores, but did you know they also eat fruit, plants, and grass? In addition to providing vitamins and minerals to their diet, eating grass also helps them expel small bones and hairballs. This sea lion used a whale as its surfboard. This is the Darvaza gas crater in Turkmenistan. In 1971, a group of geologists were looking for oil. When they drilled into the earth, they found a huge pocket of natural gas. They lit it, hoping it would go out in a matter of days, but the fire has not stopped burning. It has been more than 50 years. Today, it is a tourist attraction. This is the elbow wallet. This is not a butterfly. These are the incredible optical illusions of Johannes Stoddard. With the help of the flexibility of the human body and some paint, he manages to deceive our brains. It is truly beautiful. This is what a candle flame looks like in the microgravity of the International Space Station. The documented highest jump of a great white shark out of the water was 4.5 meters. This is how a nuclear explosion would look from kilometers away. If the world continues at this pace, we won't need virtual reality goggles to experience it. A group of Austrian soccer players has invented a new extreme sport that is undoubtedly one of the strangest versions of soccer in the world: extreme alpine soccer. It is played on the steepest slopes of the Alps. Cat reflexes are at least 1.5 times faster than the average dog's. This is one of the reasons why hypodermic needles are not reused. See how their tip looks after just one use. Like cats, bears also purr. Khanbauri is the largest stepped well in the world. It is located in India and has more than 3,500 steps descending 30 meters. Due to their different compositions, these liquids repel each other until they come into contact with a fluid that matches their own composition. This is the FX2, a bipedal robot designed to enhance humans. It can walk and grab things. The pouches in hamster cheeks can stretch up to 5 centimeters long by 2 centimeters wide. And that's how they get rid of it all. Owls don't need eyes in the back of their heads to see what's behind them. If they want to, they can turn their heads up to 270 degrees without moving their bodies. See how, even though they are moving it, their eyes never leave their target. This is truly impressive. This is how bristles are placed on toothbrushes. This is the concept of a supermarket where you don't have to get out of your car to go shopping. From your window, you choose each product from the rotating shelves, place it on the conveyor belt, and pay. How far have we come? Since slugs do not have rigid shells like snails, they are able to pass through smaller holes than the diameter of their bodies. YouTuber MRV posted a third-dimensional video where you can experience the slap that Will Smith gave Chris Rock at the Oscars. You can choose either perspective. The jaw-extended wrasse fish looks like any other fish until it's hungry. It's as if its mouth detaches from its body for a few seconds. This is a device used by gymnasts to train their movements. Watch as an F-18 combat aircraft breaks the sound barrier and creates vapor cones. This is how a person who has never seen or tasted pizza in their life eats it for the first time. These are members of an African tribe who had never been to civilization before. The Bulgari Octo Finissimo is the thinnest wristwatch in the world. It is barely 1.8 millimeters thick. Every year, a little bit of Sahara Desert sand travels to the icy mountains of France and Switzerland, painting the snow ochre. Watch as they ski over it. Thanks to this brave person, we can see how a tornado forms up close. The way a professional pitcher's arm moves when they throw. Neil Mendoza is an artist who uses digital and mechanical technology to bring objects and spaces to life. These are some of his works in the Children's Museum exhibition in Pittsburgh. If this doesn't get kids interested in art, I don't know what will. This is Midas, a curious kitten born with 4 ears. He has no trouble hearing. He looks very cute. Watch how Andy Serkis modulates his voice to create the characters of Smeagol and Gollum in The Lord of the Rings. Seals take underwater naps at the bottom of the seaweed forest. They seem to enjoy it. Sea toads are the saddest-looking fish in the ocean. This is the most dangerous natural pool in the world. It is located on the edge of Victoria Falls in Africa. Just centimeters from its edge is a drop of over 100 meters. Its name is the Devil's Pool. There's no doubt now why it's called that. One of the most important roles a meerkat plays is that of a lookout. The lookout stands on its hind legs looking for potential dangers. Sometimes the viewpoint they choose is very peculiar. Polyrhythm is the simultaneous use of 2 or more rhythms. This is how people train to perfect it. It looks easy, but it requires great coordination. It's impressive. Visual artist Ben Uwanich shows us a 360-degree perspective of fluid splashes and collisions captured with a high-speed rotating camera. The result is truly amazing. If you know someone who can't stop looking at themselves in the mirror, consider buying a non-vanity mirror that moves every time you try to look at yourself. It's a shame it's just an art installation. The tumbleweeds, better known as rolling plants, are really efficient at moving in the wind. Sometimes they cover entire cities. These surfaces were coated with a super hydrophobic coating, an invisible barrier that makes water slide off, a really eccentric experiment. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Also, let us know if there is anything you didn't know. I'll read you in the comments.